part 2 or 3 of my Shadowdark pontificating. Shadowdark, my previous video I talked about like stuff I love about it, and the one before that I talked about why it could have been the D&D killer. In this video I'm going to tell you things, I'm going to take the opposite thread. I'm going to tell you all the things I do not like about Shadowdark, some things I hate, in fact. I will say, as I'm doing that, there are more things I like than I don't, and I play Shadowdark a lot. Is it my favorite game? I don't think so, but I'll come back to that in a different video. What is my favorite game these days? It's not Shadowdark, but I do love it, and I'm rooting for it, and I want it to succeed for lots of reasons that I gave you in my first Shadowdark video. I would like to see games like this take swaths of players away from Dungeons and Dragons in the state that it's in currently. That's the petty person that I am. But even more than that, I do like it and I do play, I do run it, especially for people who are coming from D&D, they've only ever played D&D, and I'm asking them to experiment with a different type of tabletop role-playing game. This is the one that I go to. But enough on that. I'm supposed to be telling you about the things that I don't like. So let's dive into that. What I don't like. Okay, number one. This is my number one pet peeve of it. I do not run Cursed Scrolls stuff like modules. I actually rarely run anyone else's modules. I only roll the stuff that I write, like my stuff. There's two reasons for that. One of those is because I am really lazy and it's hard for me to, well, I guess there's three reasons. I'm lazy. I don't want to read somebody else's manual and memorize it and know it like the back of my hand so that I can run it well. I don't like doing that, and since I don't like doing that, sometimes when I have run third-party modules, I'll show up and I'm reading like right ahead of where the players are, and I miss things and it's scattered, and I don't feel good about it. It doesn't make good feelings for me. It's not an enjoyable experience for me. Hopefully it still is for my players, but often it's not, because then I have to be like, oh, I have to retcon things and be like, sorry, I didn't know that you had to do this different. Yeah, no, that's not fun. So I usually don't run other people's modules. If I do, they're very simple, and I will say that these modules are simple, so that's good. That's a good thing. But because of that, because I only do my own worlds and my own writing, and even if I didn't, I do not like that the mechanics force the lore of Shadowdark upon you. For instance, when you're creating a character, you're asked to pick a god, right? And that's not great, because I don't use these deities. I don't know these ones, and I don't care about them, and I'm never ever going to use them. I'm sure that they're great. I'm sure they're wonderful. I'm sure that the writers of Shadowdark did an awesome job with their lore, but it's not my lore, and I don't want to use their lore. So my players come having chosen these a lot of times, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, we're not using those, and so you've got to choose mine instead. And I know it's not a big deal, but I don't like the injection. I don't like the mixing of lore and mechanics in games. I don't like the mixing of lore and mechanics in games. I like when they're modularized, they're separate, and so that you can, if you choose, bring them together, but if you choose not to, you don't have to. And there are some games actually where I would disagree with myself, like Dolmen would, right? That's a great example. Or like I was checking out Root RPG. They make sense that the rules are built in, the mechanics are part of the lore and the world, the world building. That makes a lot of sense in those games, but not in this one, because Shadowdark endeavors to be very lore light, right? It doesn't shove a bunch of lore in your face right from the beginning, but then it starts to put it in, and then the Cursed Scrolls are even worse. Like a great example is like the Knight of Saint Idris. That one, I hate it. I hate that stupid Knight of Saint Idris, because it's and Raz Gadai, same thing, because they're specific to a world And so then I have to like do weird things with my players. Like I got a player who plays a dark knight, not Knight of St. Idris, because Idris is not a thing in my world. And so, but that's weird. It's hard to explain to a player, or it's not hard, but it's unnecessary. So I really wish that like it had just been Dark Knight. And then in that cursed scroll, it was Dark Knight that is the Knight of St. Idris. I mean, you could have just kept it separate. It would have made everything more modular and better for those of us who who bring our own content to the table. But you know what? I understand that they've got to sell. They've got to keep selling crap. So from like a product design standpoint, maybe that makes sense. I don't know. Additionally, there were too few classes in this book. Four was not enough, unless they had done one thing. And this is the thing also, this goes along with the Knight of St. Idris thing, or the lore thing. And that is that they should have, Kelsey should have had in here a way to design your own class. How to balance and how to design your own class as part of the core rules. I know that's probably controversial. It would have made the book a little thicker. Maybe that's a different book. Maybe that's a Game Master version, like the Game Master's Guide to Shadowdark. But the reason why is because then the fact that there's only four classes is fine. It's not a big deal. And we could Lego brick on some other types of things to create more custom classes for our players who want something in between, invariably, a lot of them, right? Although, again, like then buying additional scrolls give us other classes. I love the Duelist. That's like one of my favorite that came out in the Cities one. I love it. I really do love it. And I'm glad that they didn't stop here and that they put out more content. So that's okay. It's okay that it's not in this book and that it's a supplement. That's fine. They just needed to keep it separate so that we can use those classes in our worlds. And I would really be appreciated. And I would still buy this stuff. Even if they did that, I would still buy this stuff personally. So that's my pet peeve there. The quality of the book seems good-ish, but you can hear the glue is starting to break down, I think. And like, I don't know. I said it was good. I worry it's not as good. I worry about the build quality of this book. It just doesn't seem to be, I don't know if it's going to hold up to my abuse. So that's one thing. It looks really solid, and it could just be my copy. But yeah, something to think about. The other thing that I don't like about Shadowdark is something, I don't know, actually I don't know if I don't like it or not, but it's some people don't like it, and it's something I think about. And that is you're weakest at the climax. But that's pretty much every TTRPG, except for like Draw Steel, where I know that was specifically designed to make you at your strongest at the point of climax, like the boss fight. But in this game, typically, you know, in the story arc, you're going to have some sort of climactic scene, and usually that's a battle towards the end, a lot of times. And that's when you've lost, your wizards and your priests have lost spells, and you're at your weakest. That is one drawback of the magic system, is that either you have not used them throughout the game, so you saved it for a boss fight that may or may not come, so you haven't used your magic like a cantrip, and then you unload and that's great, or you use it earlier, and sometimes on your first roll you lose it, bad roll, and it's gone. You've lost your most powerful, most effective, you know, fireball spell or whatever. That's balanced a little bit in other games and 5e and other things, because you have cantrips that do a certain amount of damage, and then you have your more powerful spells that you hold in reserve. So it's just something I think about. On the other hand, it's realistic, and I do like a little bit more realistic magic. No, it's a little bit more. It takes a step towards realism that like other systems don't. So I guess I'm a little ambiguous on it, but it's something I think about. There's also a stylistic pressure, by the way. Like there's a carousing element that is part of the mechanics, and a torch timer. These things lend themselves to certain type of play. I know you don't have to do those things, like you don't have to do carousing, but and if there are those that don't know, that's like when you go back to the town and celebrate, like you're bar hopping and doing crazy things, and you roll on the carousal table and you get, I don't know, you get things out of that potentially. And some people really like that. I was in a game where they did carousing, and it was I didn't really like it personally. It was just not my style. But anyway, that's not a big deal. A lot of people complain that the games start to look pretty samey because of how lethal it is and how there's only 10 levels, that sort of thing. And I'm telling you what some people have reported not liking about it. I don't see that. I could see how it could happen. Long-term play could get repetitive if you don't have a really good game master who understands how to bring out the sophistication of the fact that it's lethal, and that there's only 10 levels, and that character progression is linear. The other thing is that it's really, let's be honest, it's not completely unique. There are many other OSRs that came before it, BX, Black Hack, that were, I think they're probably just as good, probably. They do different things. It's just, why is this one? Why is this the one? Well, it's because it had the tipping point. It got the marketing right, and it brought players over more from D&D than other ones were, other OSRs were. So that's, to be honest with you, I don't necessarily like it better than some of the other OSRs out there, but you know, BX or whatever, or BX clones, I should say. But I adopted it because of its popularity, and it's easier to get people on board to play it. And like doing videos like this and talking about it, more people will watch those. There's more enthusiasm, there's more excitement, and so that means it's part of the lexicon as the OSR lexicon game by and large, right? And there are others that are awesome that I do like and have played and want to play and we'll talk about, but this is the one that's got the steam behind it, and it's got momentum, and so I'm behind that. I'm all for it. Well, let's go, right? Yes, like that's why I'm behind it, not because it's better. I don't think it's better. I'll just say that. I don't think it's better. I think it's, some of the things are better, some of the things are worse. I would not say that this is my favorite OSR though. That's all I really don't like about it though. I do like it. So don't, you know, shout at me or yell at me for being a hater. I'm not. I'm just honest. Well, I mean, about this, not fully, my taxes, I haven't paid those this year. Granted, in my reality, there's not anyone to pay it to, but I might just do it, you know, just do my taxes because it's habit. You know, we'll see. I mean, I've got time, right? Got time to decide that. Anyway, the last thing I want to say is that if you want to watch some live play of me playing this, because I don't review things that I haven't played, I've played this a fair amount and I've continued to. If you want to watch me play this with my weird group, and if you don't know what I mean by that, well, go take a look and you'll see my players there. They're a little odd, and I do play this solo, so we have no GM, or we simulate the GM, and I really like all of that. So different thing, and I want to do a video on that soon about how I feel like I've perfected the art of solo RPG, not just with Shadowdark, with other things. But go check that out. But in the meantime, may your rolls ever be high and your ammunition never run low.